Alright guys, welcome back to the channel today. We just out riding a little bit. Beautiful Sunday afternoon, not much going on. Thought maybe I'd give you guys a little bit of a rundown on the top 5 things that I think you probably should get this CT125 for. It's been a great machine. I've got about almost 2,900 miles on it now. I've done some reviews on it, but I thought about it a little bit and I'm like, you know, there's some really good points that I'd like to make about why I really like this bike and why I think maybe most people that buy it for the reasons I got it for would really enjoy it as well. And I just get right into it, guys. I've owned it since, let's see, I got it February 21, and not a bad thing to say about the machine. It's just really been a joy. It's brought back memories and really good machine. So let's do 1 through 5. 1 being, you know, kind of, we'll just say number 5 is like probably the best reason to own it. We'll go do that. So number 1 for me is probably gonna be just the sheer fact that you can get 130 miles per gallon on it. So the very first reason is fuel economy. You know, it's just a really good machine. It sips fuel. I've gotten an average of like 110, and that's doing off-road and wide open highway and a little bit of city driving, and then easing around 40-45 miles an hour, kind of paying attention to the fuel mileage and trying to make it get the best. I've gotten almost 140, 137, and that's really impressive with something that, you know, you can just about ride anywhere except on the interstate or, you know, big highway. But that's kind of the first thing, you know, that comes to mind is good fuel economy, and you know, I don't think it could really leave that out of a top 5, you know. So number 2 for me is just the sheer fact of, and this is personal, it could be for you guys, but is the sheer fact of bringing memories back of way back in the day when I had a CT90 and a CT70 and a C90. And it just, like, the minute Honda released the press statement saying they're gonna bring it back to the States, I'm like, I'm getting that. That's what I grew up riding. I really like it. So let's just say number 2 is nostalgia. You know, it's just that old school but upgraded to where it's fuel injected, ABS disc brakes. You know, you don't have to worry about a choke. It's just a good refined machine that's pretty much, to me, identical to the earlier 60s, 70s, and 80s models. You know, so that's the number 2 thing. I guess the number 3 thing for me is gonna be probably just like the sheer fun factor of it. So being able to use it as a dual sport motorcycle, you know, turning off into the woods there, just keep it on going. So the dual purpose, you know, ability to pretty much ride all terrain is going to be the number 3 thing for me. It's It's just a, you know, that to me, if you can get on your bike, ride it on the pavement, get to the trail you're going to, whether it's going to the pond you want to fish or hitting Forest Service. You know, the thing about Forest Service is you got to be licensed to drive on it. I mean, most of it, and that gets you to be able to go to any of it. You know, it's like, if the gate's open, you're pretty much legal because you have insurance and all that good stuff, you know. So that's going to be the third thing, excuse me. So the fourth thing for me is going to be ease of maintenance. Now, I'm a bike technician, automotive technician, and as time goes on, things get so hard to work on. Like, you can open the hood of an Audi or a Volkswagen or any newer car, and you really can't even see the workings of the engine. You basically just see plastic and a big humongous intake manifold and hoses running everywhere. And this bike is exactly pretty much the same mechanically as it's always been, except for the EFI and some of the, you know, some of the ignition system. Of course, a lot of that's a little different, but the core engine transmission is pretty much identical. The little clutch that Honda uses is pretty much identical to what's, you know, it's been on the bike since its creation back in the 60s. So for me, the ease of maintenance, I mean, if you buy this bike and you've never held a wrench in your life, you can still learn to change the oil in it yourself, you know, change a tire on it yourself, because it's really not really much bigger than a bicycle tire. You can watch a video or two and you can get that down, you know. And you can even learn to adjust your own valves. I mean, that's just a learning curve, but anyone can do it. You can adjust the clutch. You can, you know, pretty much change a light bulb that goes out, you know, pretty much anything. Brakes are really simple because they're disc brakes and they're just held on by a couple of bolts. So ease of maintenance for me is going to be the number 4 thing. Like I said, it could be because I'm a bike technician, you know. but that's just something that I thought would be a good number 4. Now, number 5 for me is going to be the most important thing, and this is going to be because of the brand. It's a Honda. We all know that saying, it's a Honda. The reliability is going to be the top thing for me. I don't fear driving this bike across country, you know, aside from running out of gas or something, because it holds 1.5 gallons and I carry a little extra fuel. I don't have one bit of fear of going anywhere. It's not going to tear up. I think you could ride this bike wide open for 12,000 miles and then maybe have to put a piston in it or something, you know. But the reliability to me is going to be the top thing for this CT Little Trail 125. It's just, you're not going to have to worry about it much. I'm thinking you can probably put, if you take care of this machine and ride it like it's meant to be ridden, I'm sure you could ride this bike 30,000 miles and never have to do anything other than preventative maintenance. You know, it's just a really superb, great machine, and it's put together well because it's just like it was back in the day when things were made awesome. The fuel injection's tried and true because it's been out on Honda's cars for 30, 40 years. So that's going to be the top 5 thing, guys. For me, is the 5th thing is going to be that really good reliability.